Alright guys, welcome back. So let's bring our hair to the game engine. What we have to do is basically exporting this model. So let me do that real quick. Export selection, I'm gonna call this guy haircuts to UE4. FBX should be fun, and just export selection. Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, we can also simplify it by Control D to duplicate that guy and then do a combine, because that's gonna delete all the history it does have. Sometimes the FBX does actually able to contain the history, so you don't want that. Maybe yeah, a duplicated combined model would be better. So we export this guy. Okay, just to be able to visualize things better, we can also grab the body and just export it so that we can have a body blocking the area that we are not supposed to be seeing. Okay, so we can call this guy body. Right, cool. Now back here to Unreal, what we do is we drag in our hair card. So this is going to be in my asset folder, hair card to UE4, and then also the body one. Okay. Alright, so let me grab both and drag them in. Okay, so this is our model. Okay, so we need also our textures. Let me actually rotate my model a bit to make it facing the light. Okay, so for the textures, we can use the textures we were using earlier in Maya. Those textures should be compatible with Game Engine. If you're using Unity, make sure that you flip the normal. What else? Yeah, in Substance Designer, we can also get the AO real quick. So from this transformation 2D, the shape of our hair, we can create an ambient occlusion. Okay, oh, of course we do that quietly, so not actually insert that into anywhere. So AO here, and for the AO we can change the quality to 16 samples, and we can change the head depth to something lower maybe. Okay, and then we saved it. Call this guy hair card AO. I kind of also wanted to define the, let's see. You know what? I think I'm okay with it. I can create a gradient and use that gradient to define the root and base color, and you know, but maybe we can do everything in Unreal because we have programmable shading here. So what we do here is we right click and create our material. Call this guy hair m_hair as hair material, and then we also drag in that AO texture here. Okay, so let me open that hair and then drag all my textures in and dock it. Okay, we can also grab our hair model and go back to the material and use that as the preview model. Hit F to free mount it. Alright, cool. So for the AO, it just goes to the ambient occlusion. For the hair's normal, it goes to the normal. That's all good. For the transparency, we need to change the material domain, actually material blend mode, to something else. Now translucent is cool, but it just don't have the normal anymore. So you can actually use masked. Okay, and for the masked, then you can drag that to the opacity mask, and then you can apply that. I still don't quite sure why we cannot have the normal and opacity all work together. That would be perfect, but we just don't have that. Now we have this hair that is like, it's kind of like doing this job. It's having the transparency, but it's actually either transparent or not. You can see, okay, but this is very performant. So some game engine or some game will choose this shading mode. Right? It will have the normal map, you have the transparency. The transparency will be again either transparent or not. Okay, so you can see some real harsh transitions sometimes. Okay, but that's not a lot of sacrifice if you really think about it. You can still see hair strands, they're just doing fine. But if you want to get like a half transparency, you can use this node called temporal, a desert temporal AA thing. You connect this alpha to the alpha here, the result goes to the opacity mask. And suddenly when you apply this, you have that transparency kind of thing. But still, this shader does not really support half transparency. What it does is basically, have a grid of pixels, and sometimes they're transparent, sometimes they're not transparent, but it's either, again, on or off, totally transparent or not. You got this like a noisy edge, which fix that half transparent result. Okay, that's one of the viable option also. Okay, anyway, so back here to the hair material. Also in the shading model, we have the default lit, and there is a one specifically for hair. Okay, change that to hair and apply. They have some a really nice setup for this particular shading mode, or shading model here, because they give you the backlit, they give you the scatter, and they give you, I believe, yeah, that's the two actually. All right. So to define the other attributes, because those are the things I want to be able to change through a material instance, so I need to use parameters. So what I'm gonna do here is create a texture coordinate. Okay, and for the texture coordinate, we have two, right? And we have, if you right click here, you can see that's the texture coordinate. Left click here, you can see the texture coordinate. We have two values, R and G. Okay, so I'm gonna do a component mask. Okay, and I'm masking the R. So actually G. I just want to get a gradient basically. Okay, and this is gonna give me a nice way to lerp two colors to define the root and the tip color. Okay, so I'm gonna create two vector parameters by holding down V and click again, and this guy goes to here, and this guy goes to here, and the result goes to the base color. Okay, and this guy will be the root color, and this guy will be the tip color. Get the root and tip color, and we're blending that through a gradient. What else? Yeah, for the others, holding down S and click, and call this guy scatter, and connect that to the scatter, and then we can do that again. S and click for a specular, and goes to specular. Okay, so we create all the parameters set up to set up different parts of the material. Roughness. Metallic should be 0, so we don't really have to deal with that. We don't even have that because the hair shader knows there's no metallic anyways. Emissive color, I guess, if you wanted to have that. I think I can have the control just to be able to test it. So emissive color will be a color, so V and click. Emissive color, that goes to here. And backlit will be another scalar value. Call this guy backlit. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I can use, yeah, I can use color too. So maybe I use color this time. Okay, so backlit color. Okay, so that's all the possible parameters we can add. So we have root color, tip color, the settings to control specularity, roughness, scatter, and we have emissive and backlit CD. Okay, apply and save to save our material. And then back here to the file, we can create a material instance, and then double click to open the hair asset. We can drag the material instance to our model here. Now we are using that. We're using this material. Oh, one more thing. To the base material, we also want to be two-sided. So here we can check on two-side and apply. That's going to give you the other side. Otherwise, the hair just will feel like a not as dense. Okay, cool. Now getting back here to the scene, we can then go back to the hair instance, and we can start tweaking this hair. Let me check out all the possible setup that I defined in the base material. And start off, we can do the colors. So maybe the root, I don't know, maybe just something brighter, I guess. Okay. All right, you can already see something happening. Okay, and we can crank up the roughness a little bit and specular to be 1. Have a little bit of scatter. You can see it's scattering out the color from the back. Okay, and then we can also change the backlight to be something brighter. Okay, I don't know why I'm using red color. Maybe a little bit more brownish. Okay, tip color to be something. Yeah, that is the tip color. Okay. All right. So it feels like needs to be. Can't really find it anymore. Let me grab the hair. Okay. So feels like it needs to be having a little bit more illumination on it, and it's not having any highlights. So we can tweak those things. So roughness can go a bit lower. Okay, and then we can try to crank up the emissive here. Let's see if we can make it brighter. Okay, just a little bit. Because the backlight doesn't really help that much unless we have a backlight. So yeah, guess the scatter is the one that we can really help us to get enough surface to surface scattering to make it feels like it's a soft, kind of like a substance. Okay. All right. So this is going to be more or less what we can do with the hair, right? Again, I think the game engines are still quite limited to how much you can do with hair, especially when you want to create realistic looking hair with individual hair strands. You need to create hair cards like this, and you place them one by one really carefully. If you really want to get a smoother result, you need also more subdivision level. Like you can see those hairs are looking better because we purposely subdivide them more. You can see the others are really, you can really see geometry because yeah, they are not very they're not having a lot of subdivision, so that's why they're looking like that. Okay, so if you want to see a better result, you probably can go back to Maya, and then you can have like a subdivided model. Okay, so this model will be smoother, and you can try this model out in Unreal. See how that looks like. Subdivision level 2. Okay, that would make it look better. So for maybe you want to get a very good render, and you could try this instead. So back here to my asset, I'm dragging that subdivision level 2. Okay, so this one. Can drag this guy over also with the body, of course. Okay, oops. So this guy and the body, drag them in, rotate them. Let's see if we can drop it down. Not working properly. Copy the location and put these two in there. Alright, and drag it over here. So this is a smoother version, and we can assign the same material on this guy. Just again, you drag the material to the material here. Okay, you can see it feels much better with some smoother subdivision. Okay, you can still see some empty areas we need to address. We need to go back to Maya and fill those those parts. Yeah, but this is essentially the workflow. Okay. Oops, it changes something. Yeah, we can change the root color to make it darker. We can change the tip color to make it darker if you want to create a darker hair, right? Okay. All right. So you can see when you're far away, you don't really see much of a difference compared to this hair and this hair. It's when you get close that you see this one is a little bit jaggedy, while this one is smoother. All right. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it for this tutorial. I hope that those techniques can help you to at least make your workflow faster with some of the little tricks we were doing. But I guess it's also like worth mentioning that if you want to get the best quality, again, you place every individual hair cards one by one and really carefully place them. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.